again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial for you. And this is a really lovely, lacy, and oh so simple shawl called the Falling Waters Shawl. Yes, and it is a free download on Ravelry, and it is by Wendy Herdman. Yes. And a while back, I did do a tutorial for a shawl that I called the Wayward Shawl. And this is very similar in its construction. However, it is more lacy and the formation of the clusters is a little bit different. So I thought variation is good. Why not? Also, I love the way this works up because aside from the fact that it's only a 1-row repeat, which it's a godsend, there's no way around that. The dimensions of this particular shawl, the width at the top, it builds up really quickly. So it's one of those where it's longer as far as the width as opposed to the height. Now, to get the height, I did need more yarn than I was originally intending. I did end up using more than one skein of This is Lion Brand's Mandawa Tweed stripes that I used for this particular project, and I did end up going into a second skein. Now, as far as the specs, the specifications for this yarn, it is approximately 426 yards, so I didn't finish the second skein. I had this much left, which this is what I'm going to be using for today's example. And that's how much I had left of the second cake. It is 100% acrylic, so it is machine washable and dryable. Hooray for us. And it is a medium weight of 4. I actually used a size I crochet hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter hook. I was going to use a size J, but me personally, I thought that that was a bit much as far as the laciness factor, so I knocked it down to a size I, and this is the colorway of White Elephant. Yes. Now, as far as the way that it builds up, like I said, it's only a 1-row repeat. There is, however, as you keep going and going, a really nice edging that you can create. Very, very, very simple. And it just creates a nice clean edge as opposed to more of a sawtooth edge. So I can appreciate that. So going to put a link to the pattern in the description box down below. Also going to put a link for the Wayward Shawl if that tickles your fancy. So that being said, let's get started. All right, because this is a 1-row repeat for all intents and purposes, I'm not going to use the row counter, so let's get right into it, shall we? I'm going to start with our slip knot, and then we are going to chain up a total of 7 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, then into the 5th chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do a double crochet. Okay, and then into the remaining 2 chains, double crochet. And that, my dears, is the beginning. I wouldn't call it row 1, but that's the beginning. All right, let's keep going. Alrighty, so now from here, we're going to chain up a total of 9 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now again, into the 5th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, double crochet. And quite simply, you could just go into that top of the V loop. Don't need anything schmancy. And then into the next 2 chains, put a double crochet. So double crochet, and then another double crochet. All right, so yes, this looks a little bit weird, but it shall make sense in a moment. So now I'm going to chain 2, and then this bottom piece here, turn that. So the 2 parts that we have are facing opposite directions. Then into this loop over here, slip stitch after doing your chaining up of 2, slip stitch into this loop like so. Then chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the same loop, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And that is the second row. And yes, at the moment, it looks a little bit wonky, a little bit weird, but it will make more sense as we keep going. All right, let's keep going, shall we? Yes. All right, so for the next row, again, chain up 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, double crochet into the 5th chain. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then double crochet into the next 2 chains. There we go. Chain 2, turn the work, and slip stitch into this chain space right here, connecting, then chain up 4, and into the same space, 3 double crochets, all right. And we have this little space over here, which we're going to have to go into. So chain 2, and then into this space, slip stitch, and then chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, into the same space, 3 doubles, 1, 2, and 3. See, it's looking a little bit more uniform. The first one is like, where are we going with this? But see, it is definitely creating a nice wide triangle, which is perfect if you want to be able to tie the tails in front of you. So let's keep going. I'd like to do another row or 2, and then I'm going to show you how you can do the top edging so that it doesn't quite look so much like a sort of sawtooth edge. So let's keep going. Alrighty, so going to again chain up 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 5th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do a double crochet. And then double crochets in the next 2. There we are. Chain 2, turn the work, the base of the work, and then into this chain space, slip stitch, chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 double crochets into that space, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, chain 2, slip stitch into this next loop over here. Not into this loop, but into the side loop. Okay, not the joining chain 2 space, but this chain 4 space. Slip stitch into there. Chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 doubles into that same space. Okay, chain 2. Slip stitch into the end loop here. Chain up 4. And 3 doubles into the same space. 1, 2, and 3. Isn't that pretty? I love it. All right, so let's do one more, and then I'll show you the edging. Okie dokie. So I'm going to chain up 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 into the 5th chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double crochet. Double crochet 1 into each of the next 2 chains. There we are. Chain 2. Turn the base of the work. Slip stitch into that side loop. Chain up 4. 3 double crochets into the same space. Okay. Chain 2. Slip stitch into the next side loop. Chain up 4. 3 doubles into the same space. Okay. Chain 2. Slip stitch into the next side loop. Chain up 4. Pull out some more yarn. 3 doubles into the same space. Chain 2. Slip stitch into the last side loop. Chain up 4. And 3 doubles into the same space. Now, something I did want to mention is that actually this pattern, it was brought to my attention by a viewer that was trying to make this into a square blanket. Now, in theory, it's a good theory. You know, don't get me wrong. However, the only problem is as I was saying at the beginning, the dimensions of this particular triangle. This right here is not quite a right angle. It looks like a right angle, but actually it's a little bit more of, I think it's been a while since geometry, an obtuse angle. It's a little bit bigger than a 90-degree angle. Therefore, it won't lay flat if you're trying to make a square out of it, because in order to make a square, you would need the equivalent to 4 right triangles, but this wouldn't be 90 degrees, therefore it won't lay flat. And I hope that I was able to clarify that. I love the shape, but as far as making it into a square, geometry sometimes doesn't work with our intentions, unfortunately. That being said, I love it as a shawl. So let us now go into doing the finishing edge for this piece once it is as big as you want it to be. Okie dokie. Okay, so when your piece is your desired size and dimensions and so forth, what you're going to do is quite simply chain up one, turn your work, and not into this first stitch, but into the next two double crochets, do a single crochet into each, like so, and a single crochet into that chain 4 space. Okay, then into the chain 2 space, 2 double crochets. Now I would suggest that these are a little bit on the loose side. Bring up your yarn a little bit. Otherwise, if it's too tight, it's going to make the piece buckle a little bit, which is kind of counterintuitive to what we want as far as a nice clean edge. Then, after doing your 2 doubles, into the next 3 doubles, single crochet into each. It's 1, 2, and 3, and then single crochet into that chain 4 space, and then into the chain 2 space, 2 doubles, there you go, and then single crochet into each of the 3 doubles, and a single crochet into the chain 4 space, and deal with knots as they as they happen, which invariably they do. Okay, so single crochet into that space, and then 2 doubles into the chain 2 space. There we are. And then my 3 singles into those doubles, and then single crochet into the chain 4 space, and then 2 doubles into the chain 2 space, there we are, and then 3 doubles, sorry, 3 singles into the 3 doubles, and then into the last space, you could do a slip stitch or a single crochet or what have you, and it creates a nice clean edge to the top of your shawl. And then you would cut your yarn and sew in the end along the stitches at the top, and there you go. A lovely shawl for this time of year. So, my dears, I hope you like the tutorial and that you like this shawl as much as I do. I think it is gorgeous, and its simplicity speaks volumes to my little ears. And give it a whirl, give it a try. As far as the yarn and what I would recommend, this yarn I thought worked really nicely because you have a really neat gradient as you keep going up. I think an ombre would be incredible, or if you're doing any sort of color change yarn, I think it would be just fine. There are a lot of projects that I would strongly not recommend using a very quick color change yarn because it's too busy for the pattern and it would take away from the pattern. In this case, I really don't think so. So I would say have fun, go with it. And the only thing perhaps that I might recommend is not using an overtly fuzzy yarn because you are working into stitches. When you get to a certain point, you are actually working into stitches. For the most part, you're just working into stitch spaces. So that's generally not an issue. But at any rate, enough of my yammer-yammering. Hope you liked it. If you did, give a little thumbs up button down below. Again, the link to the pattern is going to be in the description box down below. Also, down there, check out my Etsy store or, of course, my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games, where I do video game playthrough and commentary. A lot of fun. Would love to see you there. And until next time, you know what to do. Stay inspired. stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.